All right, guys, brand new month, May 1st. We are excited to go. We're already like pretty far into the year, which is kind of scary. But I wanted to chat about just my personal development that I'm reading right now because I literally every day, I listen to my personal development. Otherwise, I would never read anything. I don't know if you can hear him. But so I have been listening to the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. And if you guys were on the Success Club trip with me, you know I was chatting about it the whole time because every time I listen to something, I am just like in my notes section, like writing down a quote, or I'm like, oh my God, that's like a light bulb goes off. So if you're looking for something new to read or listen to, add this to your list. If you have a list this long of personal development books, pick one, actually like implement, take action, read one, listen to one, because I used to have a giant list because I was never actually pulling from any list and I was never doing personal development. So if you are a brand new coach, don't like overlook that part that your coach tells you about doing your personal development, whether it's reading literally a page a day or listening to it. I listen to it in the car, in the shower, when I'm getting ready, whatever works for you. But so anyways, the book is called The 5-Second Rule. It's by Mel Robbins. And basically what she talks about in this book is just actually taking action, like in everyday life, and stop procrastinating and just like getting over ourselves and pushing past our excuses. And so usually when I'm looking for a PD book, like these type of books really resonate with me because there's so many times that I can allow my like everyday busyness with just like my kids, and my husband works a ton of hours. He's literally stuck at jail right now because my husband's not in jail, just to clarify. He works there because the power went out and they won't let him out. So like this is 2 nights in a row where he has been gone the entire day, and this happens a lot. So I can let those excuses a lot of times push past my why of wanting to like succeed in this business. So I love books like this. So this talks about implementing action. And so just to give you a little bit of a backstory on her, she is like a motivational speaker. She works for like CNN and all of this. And you probably actually would recognize her if you Googled her name. But before she came up with this concept, the 5-second rule, she had a business of her own and it was failing. And her husband, they had 3 kids. They were in major, major debt. And she just could not like figure a way out. Her marriage was failing because most of us know when you have money issues, that's what you fight about. And that can kind of, come in between things. And so she talks about how her kids, she barely had money to go to the grocery store to support her family and, she didn't know which credit card she was going to put it on that day. And basically was so depressed, she just could not get out of bed in the morning. She always hit snooze. And she said she would just keep hitting the snooze button for like 45 minutes to an hour, which I am totally guilty of sometimes. And that's one of the reasons why I like could not wait to be my own boss, because I hate setting an alarm. But she just could not get out of bed in the morning. So finally she decided, like, I can either sit here and I can keep doing this and keep being depressed and keep my, my marriage can keep swirling down, or I can do something about it. And so she said it just kind of came to her, and she was watching one of the NASA liftoffs, and, they count down for a rocket from 10 or whatever they counted down to. And she said that she heard, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it was blast off. And it was like there was nowhere to go from there but to go up and to like do and implement. And so she was like, oh my God, literally all I need to do in the morning is when my alarm goes off, I need to sit there and I need to say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Get up and do it. And so that's what she tells herself every single morning. And she gets out of bed, because you can't count up, because you can go to 6 and you can just keep going and you can keep procrastinating. Whereas if you go down, you think of blast off and it's like there's nowhere else to go. So you get up and you do it. So that's literally what this 5-second rule method is. And it's such like this silly, simple concept, but I have been using it for the past like couple weeks that I've been reading this book. And it's just crazy how like it really takes your brain to like just do something. So she started with just like little tiny things, like getting out of bed in the morning, actually going to fix her business, work her business, and all of that. And so the thing with this is that she talks about how it's actually a proven concept. Like our brains actually have 5 seconds before we get distracted and think, and our brain shifts to something else. So something that says in the book, and I wrote some notes, so sorry if I keep looking to the side, but she says, inside every single decision that you make, there exists 5 seconds of courage that can change absolutely everything about your life. And that was one of the things I put it on one of my posts the other day, because I was like, I stopped it and I like rewinded it and I had to write it down because I was like, I love that. And so this being like an actual scientific thing, like that we have 5 seconds of part of our brain once a thought comes to it to either act on it or to move on to something else, is just kind of stuck with me. So a lot of this book talks about, and like I said, I'm not completely finished with it, but she just talks about like getting out of bed, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it. Stop hitting snooze. You have 15 minutes to sit down and send out invites. Okay. I'm just to kind of relate it back to like what we do. Instead of sitting there and say, oh my God, I only have 15 minutes before I need to go pick my kids up, or before I need to go start cooking dinner, whatever you have to do that day. We can sit there and think about, well, all the other things we have to do for 15 minutes. And then there goes our 15 minutes. It's like, instead you're like, okay, 15 minutes, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to go send out my invites and I'm going to be done for the day because that's the only time I have. And so she literally uses that for every aspect of her life. And if you guys think of it, whether you guys read this book or listen to it or not, like try it, even if it's for like this week with just like the simplest things, because it's just crazy. It's just like you're counting down, but for some reason it works and it gets your brain to actually get up and move. So what I was listening to today was talking about procrastination and how, some people can be like, I'm such a procrastinator. I've always been a procrastinator. And it's not like this thing that you're born with or the way that your brain works. What she talks about is procrastination is actually a symptom of being stressed out. That's the only thing that it is. And so it talks about how we procrastinate because for a few minutes we can think about that one thing that we're not stressed about. So like, for example, if you have money stresses, you have all these bills due on the same day of the month and you're like, shit, I didn't earn that much. I don't know if I'm going to pay. Money can be super stressful. So that's why I use that example. But there's a million other things going on in the world. So instead of actually working our business that can earn us money to pay for those bills and to take that stress away, we procrastinate because we're stressed and we think about something else. She talks about watching cat videos a lot, which like is really funny to me. But on YouTube or in our case, social media, we can scroll Facebook, for those 15 minutes that we have to actually do our business that will move it forward, that will earn us income to take that stress away. We procrastinate with scrolling Facebook or doing something else because it distracts our brain for a little bit. You don't have to think about those stressors. So when you think about procrastination like that, like it's because I'm stressed. We just need to realize like, okay, what are the actions that I need to take to solve that problem? And just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go do it. And so, obviously you guys can see I'm like really passionate about this book. I want to like look her up. I've been really loving it. I would totally recommend it. I have like I don't know which chapter I'm in. I think 11. I have like 2 hours left. I listen on Audible. But I would definitely recommend it if you guys have issues just like getting started. Me and Car talk about all the time how in the beginning days of our business and even up until now, like we come up with all of these awesome ideas and systems, but it's like if you don't actually do it or like implement the things that we're learning, just kind of like, you know, a lot of us on this call are in the Dash to Diamond training. And those videos were amazing, yes. And it's like, I wish they would keep posting them. But at the same time, it's like, we now need to take that information and actually do what they're giving us to do. Because you can sit there and you can watch as many videos and YouTube, you know, all of Lindsay Matway's videos and how exactly she became successful. And guys, there's no secret. They literally tell you exactly what they do. And it's the exact same things that you know that you should do every single day that made them successful. But until you do it, then nothing's going to change. So I would highly recommend this book. And I just wanted to share that with you guys before we got into kind of just chatting and any questions that anyone has, just because it's been like such a game changer for me. So like I said, even if you don't go buy the book or read it or listen to it or whatever, try that. Try the, like, literally, even for like your fitness, when you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I really don't want to work out. She talks about, you know, being healthy a lot in this too. Just that as soon as you get that thought where you're like, I don't want to do this today, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and guarantee you'll get up and you'll go do it. It's a really weird, simple thing, but I would definitely try it and implement that this week. Let me see the chat. Ash, yeah, you definitely should do it. Even like, I know Car goes to the library and Tiff goes to the library too. Like, you guys should see, if you're like, I don't want to constantly be buying new books and stuff, you should check out your local library, because I feel like a lot of the times they have these books. Hey.
I do that, but I can't read Japanese.
Okay, so that is all that I had to chat about. Sorry, he's trying to sit with me.
Just a suggestion too for the library. I know here, you guys might not have it there, but if you have a library membership, a lot of the times now they have Audibles online for free or ebooks for free. So I don't know, Jess, if you have a membership from back home, maybe you can log in and try and get that. And then all of your books are free. You load it onto your Kobo or your e-reader or your Audible books, just like you do with the Audible app, and away you go for free. That's what I do.
Well, that's pretty cool. All right. Well, so I think the rest of this call, we just kind of wanted to open it up to any questions that anyone had, whether it's literally as simple as like, how do I log into my online office, or anything more complicated than that. But we just wanted to get together and what are you doing?
That's my
Sorry. So sorry, but just feel free to unmute yourself.
Hello.
No, shh. Otherwise, Aiden will entertain us for the rest of the time here.
Is he whispering right now?
Yeah.
Aiden, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
Did you get my text how he called me out when I was talking to myself?
Lele.
He does it all the time. I don't know if you guys talk to yourself, but I do it sometimes.
Lele.
Or like when I'm Insta-storying, he's always like, what? I'm like, no, I'm not talking to you.
Lele.
All right, so I had a question about just seeing what other people do. When you have a new coach sign up, what's the process that you go through? Like, you send them an email? Like, what kind of training stuff do you tell them on a new coach call? Like, I don't want to overwhelm them, but at the same time, I don't want to leave anything out.
I'll go. I think Ash and I do things very similarly. We have in our files tab of the team page, there's a Google Doc in the Google Drive that breaks down like a new coach checklist, and I'm pretty sure we follow that to a T. But I send the new coach welcome email And then I send the scripts and links email right afterwards at the same time. And I just title it like read second scripts and links. And then I tell them to complete the 6-step training from now the Fit Vibes Tribe website. And then I touch base with them in like 2 days after that. And I say, how's everything going? How is the training going? You have any questions yet? And then I ask them when they want to be announced as a coach or if that day works for them. And then I help them create their own, like, I've now started my own fitness journey and want to help other people, kind of like an invite to a challenge group while announcing that they're a fitness coach. And then 2 days after that, or maybe even the next day, I'll just message them and be like, oh my God, you got 30 likes on your post and 3 comments. Have you sent out a message to those people yet? And most likely they're going to say no. And then I just say, this is something I would send, just thank all of these people. And then I give them a script to send to them and then have them create their list of 100 people that they can like reach out to with those names from that post as well. And then set up the getting started right call and then just go over Emerald, trips, and Success Club.
Okay. So those are pretty much like the 3 things that you talk about on a call. You don't talk about.
Mm-hmm. I try and keep it very simple because the trips are exciting and people want to go on vacation for free. If they hit Success Starters, they're obviously going to win their ticket to Summit, which is also important for them to be to, as you know. And Emerald is super easy if you're signing people up as a discount coach right away, and that kind of gets them getting residual income instead of just challenge pack sales, so they see the different benefits of building a business.
Yeah.
And then
I'm trying to revamp my new coach call because I feel like it's a lot of information because I do go into the whole like right leg, left leg, like strong leg, weak leg thing. Like I feel like that's something they need to know, but I feel like at the same time it's like what?
I think
I don't know when that's great to talk about.
I think with the legs, and this is just something that usually I do when they're like, when I tell them, you know, like offer the discount membership to someone who's signing up with a challenge pack, I'll give them the script of like the 2 options. And then I'll, you know, obviously the first 2 people automatically go on the left and the right. And then I just kind of help them after that. So I don't even talk about that on the Getting Started Right call.
Okay.
But I got from the Dash to Diamond training with Wendy Jo Spencer, she was saying she helps her coaches build rank, then bank. So like they get to Emerald, they have 1 coach on each side. And then the smart thing for you as their mentor to do would be to find out what their weak leg is and stack that while they're building to Diamond instead of continue to go back and forth.
Okay.
So like that's just something that you can just be like, okay, your next 4 coaches put on your weak leg so you can max on your team cycle bonus.
Okay.
And then at some point in the Getting Started Right call, or even just like during that week after that, I would just suggest, you know, you can host your next group with me, or if you feel comfortable and want to just dive in and host it on your own, but we need to pick a date. And then that way they can start looking at themselves as leader.
Okay.
But that's basically it.
Okay. So I have like a bunch of new coaches that signed up, and like clearly what I'm doing for my call is not working. So I'm trying to like recreate one.
Yeah, I think it's just like thinking about the 3 things that you would want to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
And like really, and this is, I'm saying this in like the most honest way possible, they really don't retain a lot in the first like Getting Started Right call. So anything you tell them is going in one ear and out the other.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can talk about like, oh, and then, you know, here's a free trip that you can win to Mexico next year, they're going to remember that. And even if nothing, how to do it, when it is, but they know that they can win a free trip to Mexico, it's like, that's one of the things that they'll remember, and it's simple.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think that's what, is that what you do too, Ash, basically?
Yeah. I would say the biggest things are after you send the initial thing, like whether a piece of the training is in your new coach welcome email, follow, like put on your calendar a reminder in your phone for like 2 days later to be like, hey, how far are you into it? How's it going? What questions do you have? Because that too is going to show you like who actually is serious about it. But I'm super guilty of this. Like I'll just send the email and then it's like, well, if they don't reach out to me, I just assume that they don't want to work their business, even though, they told me they want to be top coach or whatever. So just like being consistent with following up with them. But like what Carly was saying, I would just keep it. I don't mention leg placement until they're emerald, because until they're emerald, it means nothing to them. I always on the getting started right call kind of just help them write their first post, because I think that's huge. Just like getting them to actually put something out on social media. And then I discuss the importance of Success Club, because I think a lot of times we like kind of shy away from encouraging new coaches to hit Success Club right away, like right out the gate. And it's like, I did it, so I know other people can do it. And being a success starter is awesome. Like who wouldn't want to save?
Mommy, I hear the garage.
Okay, go see if he's here. You'd win your free ticket to Summit, which is awesome. So I talk about how important Success Club is and why it's important. And Emerald, just like what she was saying, signing up 2 coaches, again, just trying to keep it like super simple. And because I think when we overcomplicate everything, people just feel like it's so far off that they're not actually going to do it. But me and Car, this is something we need to actually take action on. But before we went on vacation, we were talking about how we wanted to actually revamp our new getting started right process by actually doing short videos. Like I think what we were going to try and keep them like 5 minutes long or something, super short. And just like we kind of took notes. I don't know, well, there were like 5 of them or something like that, on like the super simple topics of just like hitting Success Club, getting to Emerald, and then they can hit, or they can watch the short videos in the times that they get there. Because like I think if someone signs up and you send them a video where it's like, hey, I'm so happy you joined my team, basically almost like the welcome email, but in a video form. And then with the other things, I just think it would be more inviting and more like a way for someone to be like, oh, that was more personal than just an email that they're sending out. So that's something that we're going to try to do, that if you guys want to kind of try and do that too, because it's like those are things where once you could record those in one day and then you're good, so it really doesn't take that much time. But once we get that, we'll obviously share that with all of you guys too.
Okay.
But.
So super helpful. Thanks.
Does anyone else have any questions or anything like that?
All right, I have a question for everybody. Who, and be honest, actually did the self-paced training? Okay. Because that's part of the reason why Ash and I kind of wanted to do videos. We were thinking that I think we were going to try and do 10 videos and have them be 5 minutes long and kind of go over like the 10 really important, helpful things that you would need to know to like get your business started.
Can I say something from doing it?
Yes.
It was very informative, but that's only because I can learn both ways from reading and watching videos. I think the videos would be tremendously more interactive and fun because it was super dry. I think it helped that I'd done a lot of research before. And Jess, you were saying how you weren't sure your call worked, and maybe I'm just completely in left field, but your call was awesome for me. Going over the legs and stuff made it more interesting and made it seem real that I could actually get somewhere. And then I understood how to get to Emerald as well, because I knew that I had to get one on each leg. So if you're going to do the video training, I know you don't want to touch maybe on all of the legs, but it is important still to know how to use the online office to at least flip after your first coach.
Yeah, that was actually one of the days that we were going to cover with one of our 5-minute videos, because it's something we can go into more depth on. But I am a sapphire personality, which basically just means if it's not fun, I don't want to do it. And I know for me, I'm not going to go through training on my own and read all this stuff, because that's just not the type of learner that I am. But a lot of people can and like to go at their own pace. But I think it's a lot easier for coaches to fall off when it's not interactive or like prompt. If it's just like, okay, now go in and read all this stuff and learn it all. You know, we kind of tried to switch it up and see how it would work. And it's been about 6 months. I think we finished it in August. All right, so it's been probably like 8 months. So that was another reason we wanted to basically take everything from the self-paced training and the new coach section and just try and like scrunch it down into like 10 short 5-minute videos that we can like, maybe we send one a day in an email thing for 10 days, or maybe we just send them all at once, or we haven't really talked about like the logistics of the whole thing.
I think we talked about even maybe doing a group possibly.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to play around with it, because I think the biggest thing for everyone, and like we always are trying new things too, because like this business is all about duplication. So it's like we don't need to reinvent the wheel. So it's like if something works for one person and it seems to be working for the whole team, then like obviously you guys can recreate it if you wanted it to be like you. But I would just suggest doing, using the same type of thing, which kind of makes it easier on everyone too. So we're going to play around with that, because we know groups aren't everyone's thing, but we were thinking if the videos are super short and informative, then it might be. And if it's only like a 10-day group, then it might be better. So
I like the idea of this like email one video a day thing, because I know like at one point I had signed up for Shalene Johnson's training thing, and about like 10 days in I kind of fell off, but I liked getting that every morning. So maybe that is a way that we could go in like a little more in depth, like one video be about trips and one video be about Emerald, and we could do a video about like leg placement if it's like super short, not like crazy in depth. But I think one video a day is a really good idea.
Yeah, I think if we could figure out how to do that like on an email generator, that would be the best way, because I know like there would be days where I don't send them out. You know what I mean? I feel like if people got them at the same, like it was her 30-day push is probably what you're talking about. It came at the same time every day. So yeah, we'll have to play around with that, but I think that would be a good option too.
I know I'm like a total visual learner, so I have to like see stuff done for me and then be able to follow it. So I know like that's why I like videos a lot, because even when we do the live power hours, because I can see what you guys are doing and then be able to implement it myself. So it's like I kind of have to see it and then play with it, and then see it and then play with it. So maybe people who learn like that would be easier for them.
Yeah, because we would probably do, wouldn't just be like our faces talking the whole time. If we were showing how to, we'd probably, because you can record your whole screen. Yeah. So like showing how to log into the online office, where to change to direct deposit, but keeping them really short, I think would be really good, because I think CAR has, what is the statistic? It's like everything is live videos now and videos.
I think they said 80% of consumers are now getting their information and learning by video.
Yeah.
Which like, what's the point of having, I just feel like it's so much easier to provide those videos, because everyone, when they want to learn, they go to YouTube. So it's like, instead of having them have to learn and figure out what they should be figuring out, why don't we just give them the videos of 10 topics of things that would help them?
One of my girlfriends at work just went through a whole college marketing class. She's marketing at Columbia, and she was saying that humans now have the retention and memory less than a goldfish. So a goldfish is 8 seconds and a human is 7 seconds now. And
What?
yeah, and everything now, if you have a video, it's easily retained. If they see words, they won't even stop. So a picture, it's video, picture, words, because that video stimulates them and makes them not have to retain it for those 7 seconds.
I mean,
I
it
believe.
makes
I don't.
sense. Yeah. Think about when you're scrolling on Facebook, you stop to watch a video but not read a post.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
But I'll-
totally teach all the kids in my class by Instagram.
Really?
Yes, I show YouTube and Instagram videos for every lesson that I do. How sad is that?
I look everything up on YouTube.
But I'm like, that's how they're really gonna learn. So
yeah.
But I definitely read more posts on Facebook if the picture's pretty. Like I'll stop on the
True.
picture and like, wait, what is this about? And then like I'll go up and read it.
Yeah.
So no more dark dungeon selfies kissing your shaker cups.
Yeah. None of that. But yeah, so we're going to work on that for this month and try and get that up. And we'll put all of those, whether we do a group or however we do it, all of the videos will be up on the Gold Supremacy YouTube channel. So we'll always have access to them. So you won't have to be scrolling to try and find a group or anything. But hopefully that will be good. And just make it easier too on everyone. All right. Does anyone, we have like a little under 5 minutes before we get kicked off. If anyone has any other questions or anything?
I have a question.
I have a question real quick. If you were to do those 10 videos, would you still have your getting started right call?
Yeah, I would think so. Because I think what I would do is I'd probably maybe do the call a little bit differently. I don't think we really talked about that, but I think getting on the phone with someone or I do mine through Zoom. I don't know about anyone else, but I think just getting that face-to-face interaction will help them want to like participate in the group or, do the emails even more. So even if it's just like a, hey, how are you doing? Like, let's put together your first post together over Zoom, just like super simple, maybe just getting them actually posting or just getting them started in their workout or something, I think would be so good to do.
Okay.
And then they could only be like 20 minutes too. Because like I do them and they're like an hour and a half, which is way too long. So.
You have a question, Elise?
Is there like a script for the performance pack for like trying to get male coaches? Because I'm talking to this guy right now that I think might join as a coach on our team.
I don't know if we have a specific script for it, but I know some of the coaches on here have had male coaches who have used it. Tiff had a male coach once before. What was his name? Aaron? And I can't think what else, but I don't ever suggest it, so I'm the last person you want to ask.
I haven't used it. I've only used the Shakeology because I'm still nursing.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't know nothing about it.
Mm-hmm. I would just go to YouTube and just see what coaches use to describe it and how they describe it, and then maybe just type something up, or I don't know.
Even on the Team Beachbody website, not to interrupt you, Tiff, but like there's that, even just that like little description of what it is, or like in the FAQs, you could probably find just like a little chunk to send.
Mm-hmm.
I never really talk about the full performance stack. I talk about the one that comes with like the on-demand. So you just get the pre-workout and then the recover. So I always just say like that's what it is, like a pre-workout and then the post-workout. So I feel like guys might like that more because that's what they're looking for, like to try to recover their muscles faster than like trying to lose weight or whatever their plan is. So maybe just try to talk about those two and not like the whole performance line. Then eventually if they like it, they can kind of get everything else.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Well, I think we're probably going to get kicked off. So hopefully this was helpful. Everyone go count down from 5 and post on the team page if it helps you. But next week we're going to do our new coach call at 8 and then our Emerald and above at 8:30. So other than that, and we're going to update the thread for Success Club points in the page probably by the end of tomorrow so that we can all start